Today marks 1283rd day share lessons I learned and continue to learn with all of you. I hope that these insights will inspire you, support your dreams, help you achieve your goals, and really empower you to become the person that you want to become. Today I speak about blind spots, such an interesting and important topic. Every single person has blind spots. Every single one of us has blind spots. Now, one of us has massive blind spots, other person less blind spots, but every single person has a blind spot. So that means that this topic is essential because every single one of us have them. And I think that knowing that we need to build awareness and really focus on how to really cover those blind spots, because a lot of times we're not able to fix them, but able to leverage other people, because sometimes there's our weakness and we're able to leverage other people's strengths to be able to really cover those blind spots. So today we'll share five things why we can't able to see those blind spots, why we can't really establish the understanding where they are and where they came from. So number one is a cognitive bias protect your self-image. That means we have a self-image and we looking around and we have the confirmation biases, so that we accept what we agreed on and we do not accept the things that we do not agree about ourselves. We do not accept the things that we do not see ourselves. So confirmation biases. So that we thinking that we are one way, and if we get information that doesn't align with who we are, we just deny it. And that sometimes could become a blind spot because of that. And of course, it could be potentially self-serving bias. That means that we look into ourselves one way, but the other people differently. And I think that is very, very important to understand where the blind spots are coming from. Number two is your brain prioritize efficiency over accuracy. Your brain focuses and prioritizes efficiency over accuracy. So that means that our brain's working 24/7. There's so much thing to work on, and our brain sometimes just ignores things, ignores information. And I think that I heard that what you focus on and be able to design what we focus our mind on, and it's 97% of information is there, but you're not consciously aware of it. And I think that we need to understand that there's a lot of information that is sorted out without even us knowing that. And it might be that in that 97% that is thrown that way, there is a lot of important information. And there is information that leads us to blind spots. And that's why it's very important to understand other and connect with others, that we could really remove those blind spots. Number three, your identity is built on your current self-concept. And I think that's, again, this is like we're able to identify who we are, but if something that we said, like, this is who I am, and that change requires really changing your ego. And I think our ego doesn't want to accept a lot of things. And I think because our ego doesn't want to accept a lot of things, that becomes our blind spot. Such an interesting thing. The thing that our ego is not willing to accept, a lot of times it leads to become our blind spots, our weakness. So we need to really train our ego, say like, what is helpful? Because what hurts ego sometimes is the best for you. And as again, that's embarrassment, rejection, all those is hurting ego, but a lot of times those leads to massive results. So that means that we need to understand that this identity and ego is very, very important to understand where that potential bias could be. Number four, you don't get honest feedback often enough. This is very, very important. And yesterday we were speaking about specifically about feedback, because we need to get feedback. We need to understand reality, because if we always in our head, we're not able to get understanding, because you're not able to see the label from the inside of the jar. Exactly with ourselves, we're able to reflect. But if you do not get feedback from earth, from other people, from actions, and really getting results or no results, because no results is a feedback as well. So feedback is a great thing. And I think that we need to really seek feedback as often as possible from different things, from people, from actions, from journaling. Like, there are so many different ways to really look for feedback, just to make sure that you understand that you're moving the right direction. Because if you don't get feedback, you might be that thinking that you are on the right path, but you're not. Because that's why what happens is that when we think about all the strategy, about planning, when you start executing, you realize all the things that you were planning, the things that you thought will be hard, it's easy, and the things that you thought will be easy, it's difficult. So that means that it's very important to get the feedback. Otherwise, we have those blind spots, and when you execute, those blind spots are released. Number 5 and last one is self-awareness requires skill and practice. Self-awareness requires skill and practice. I think that is very, very important to understand that blind spots are blind spots for a reason, because we are not looking at, because even when we're driving with a car, we want to be able to look and see that there's a blind spot, and sometimes we be able to really have those extra mirrors to make sure that we cover all the blind spots. I think that in life in general, there's a lot of things that we can potentially do to really cover those blind spots. So again, journaling very often, and again, journaling is one of the tools, not one, because I mentioned is feedback is essential. The journaling is essential. Being able to meditate or be present is essential. Because if without being mindful, you're not able to understand yourself. Because you're always in the future. That means that you're seeing the future self, and that future self might not have those blind spots. Your current you have blind spots, because when you visualize your future you without blind spots, that's a much better version of you. Of course, we need to bring back together and be present and say, what do I need to do now to become that person? I think a lot of time of us, we stuck in the past and think about all the things that happened in the past, and we're not able to focus on current moment, because we look into all the mistakes that it did, and we look into yourself, past self, the person who was not that smart as you are right now, and that person was making mistakes. And again, we are stuck there. We're not able to be present, because we always need to ask that question, what I'm able to do now. Because when you're able to ask that question, what I'm able to do now, you're able to really move so much faster in life, because you actually remove all those blind spots. So what are the 4 things that we need to do really to maximize ourselves and improve ourselves, that we do not have blind spots? We have blind spots, but are very, very minimal. And the first one is ask for feedback. The feedback is essential. Ask for feedback. Number 2 is reflecting on conflict. So reflect on conflict with other people. Reflect on conflict with yourself. That means that when you don't want to do it, when you hate something to do it, you ask yourself, what is that? Why is that you don't want to do it? Third is journal regularly. I think that's very, very important to really reflect yourself, and really make sure that you start to see some kind of patterns, and maybe something is missing in there. And last one, work with a coach, work with a mentor, work with people that really allows you to understand. Because a lot of times when people start asking questions and you are communicating out loud, you start to realize the things about yourself that you never thought when you were thinking about it by yourself. So other person, one question could lead to new pathway that could lead to opening new doors into understanding yourself. And I think that sometimes those doors are impossible to open by yourself. But someone else needs to open with a great question, and that's why it's very important to really connect with people who are able to ask great questions, to really understand where those blind spots. And when we have those blind spots, we need to find people who leverage their strengths and cover your blind spots. So I hope that you will choose to win, and see you tomorrow.